Welcome to this first episode of Heart Conversations. My name is Mike Arents. I am the pastoral worker of the Parish of Immaculate Heart of Mary in Singapore. And in this Heart Conversations, I'm having a conversation with someone else from the IHM Parish to talk about faith issues. And today I'll be talking with Simon Tan, the coordinator of the Sec 1 Catechism, to talk about how do we do catechesis at home as parents and how the catechists of the parish want to help you as parents and as teens to continue to grow in your faith. Okay, so hello Simon. Thank you for joining in this conversation about catechesis.
Hi, Mike. Morning.
So, what does catechesis mean to you?
I wasn't into catechesis until somewhere in 2014. So, that's not very long ago. When I first joined the team, there were already a lot of youngsters and people who have been with the church doing catechesis for a long time. So I was very much a newbie then. And so it took a while to get into it. And I thought it was useful to talk about this journey because many people think that to be a catechist is not easy. It's like you need to have a lot of knowledge or things like that. But it's about starting your own journey. So when Roy invited me to be a catechist, I wasn't sure, but I just decided, okay, let's just give it a shot. And that's how it started.
Yes. The other day I was reading from Matthew 13. It speaks about a prophecy of Isaiah that speaks about seeing, hearing, and then opening up our heart. And I think that these three things are kind of key, I think, in catechesis, is that we have to listen to what God has to say when we read His Word. But it's also a lot about seeing. And I think that as catechists, as parents, it's all about being a role model so that our children, the people we minister to, can recognize a little bit of God in the way we do things, in the way we pray, and hopefully encounter God as well. So now we are all stuck at home and it kind of interrupted our catechesis this year. We haven't even met up at all. So how has catechesis for you and your family been at home?
So when this whole COVID thing came about and we had to scramble for an alternative way to do catechism, it started to make me think about the format in which we were doing it and how we could now reach out to the students. Primarily, I see catechism as us walking a journey with the children. And now that with the physical constraints, who's going to walk with the children in a physical way? So I started thinking about then how do I guide a person who is not comfortable doing catechism to now take that responsibility to do it. And I'm referring to the parents. I remember my time as a parent. I gratefully leave it to the catechists in the church to take care of my children. To do that work, I don't have to lift a hand or finger to do anything. My job was just simply to send the children to church and pick them up after that. And that was kind of easy. But I do regret that I didn't had a part to play in the faith journey. At home, our own ways of carrying out our faith routines has been reduced to the streaming of masses, sit around together and watch the bishop conduct the mass. I find, okay, that's a nice idea and it's something worth looking forward to.
Yeah, I think for me also, this staying at home kind of makes you realize how much you depend on the catechist to do your catechesis for you as a parent. I mean, my kids, they attend in SFX catechism. They have some online streaming, so that helps them to still do something together. But it's also, as a parent, just to find the opportunities to actually share faith with them. At least in our weekday routine, we have a time, maybe 10 minutes in the morning to pray together, read very shortly a Bible story. My 6-year-old one can read for us, and then just get them to ask questions, or I ask questions and get them to answer. Small children have a lot of wisdom already in themselves, and it's not so much to tell them the answers, but rather to help them discover by themselves. And when you see in their eyes that, actually they start to understand, okay, who is the good shepherd and who is the sheep, and what does the shepherd do for me? I think that's really a way to catechize by awe and wonder, and empower them to actually understand a lot of these things already by themselves. And especially on Sunday night, we read the Bible before they sleep. And that's like kind of that catechetical moment for them. They know, and they say, okay, they will carry the Bible into the bedroom. Sometimes because it's already late and I have other things to do, I want to kind of keep it short. But then my son will say, no, Papa, this is the time where we can ask questions. And they actually have loads of questions. And the more actually I feel as a parent, I create these opportunities for them to ask questions and try to find answers, the more questions come about. So the opportunity for questions creates more questions. And then I find that, hey, all of a sudden at the lunch table also they have another question. And I think that that's the beauty of catechizing as a parent, to stir in them the opportunity to wonder about their faith. And for us as parents to be role models. It's not about whether we know all the answers. That's not so important. We can just research it together. But am I living a role model of faith? Do my children ever see me pray? So you are the Sec 1 Catechist coordinator. How have you been helping the parents of the Sec 1 students, and how have you been helping the Sec 1 students themselves to be enriched in this season?
I thought it was an opportunity to introduce the idea of the parents' journey with the children. And I did a few things. First was the communications with parents, to encourage them to take that step, not to worry about whether they're doing it right or wrong. And the first so-called experiment that I did was I did up a deck of slides which allows the parents to go through with the child. And I think there were about 10 slides in all for that particular session. And I put notes underneath each slide to allow the parents to play the role of catechist. But I do understand that some parents might be concerned that they do not know everything, or that they couldn't explain certain things. As you were saying, the child might ask questions, and then it spawns more questions, and then they might be concerned about that. But actually, that's a good thing. I mean, it allows a conversation for the child and the parents to carry on. And that's where all the learning takes place. And that's where also that relationship deepens, I think, if you allow a child to continue to ask you questions and you respond to the child. Whether you know the answer or not, that doesn't matter. It's good for the child to know that daddy, mommy doesn't know all the answers. Is perfectly fine. It's about finding the answers together. So that was a deck of slides that is sent to the parents. Parents can do it with the child. It should be quite simple. But then I realized that he did get a response. You don't know what's going on after that. And some of my catechists feedback to me. That's the beauty of the team. They will give you feedback, and they tell me that, I find too much. The deck of slides is just too much for a parent to go through. One of my catechists showed me a plan that was developed by a mother, and she distributed it in her own WhatsApp group or something like that. And it was a simple one-pager thing that is covering the scripture readings of the week. And therein there are some reflection questions, and I thought, that's a very nice format. Then I adopt that format for our catechetical session plans. And I asked the students to put their reflections in a Google form. So in that way, I can get some feedback as to how are they coping with it, how are they doing it, are people taking the reflections seriously and putting them on a Google form. And I was pleasantly surprised that some of the students did a really thoughtful reflection about these questions that I posed to them. Yeah. The unfortunate thing about that second experiment was that it was kind of too heavy, too many questions or reflections. I didn't get a lot of responses on the Google form, maybe about 10 of them. That's out of about 50 over students. And then after that, the third time, I started to get a better grip of the formula for how to do this. So at this moment, most of the session plans are designed around a 1 to 2 pager kind of format on a Word document with 3 reflection questions. I'll put links to videos and things like that, which would sort of enable the students to learn in a different way through the videos. And some parents and students that say, the videos were nice, it helps us understand. But even then, as we go along, the COVID situation continued to evolve, I realized that we need to think of a different way. So we're going to start using Zoom as a media for online catechism. And it's live. You see the students for the first time. So what we're going to do is to break it up into 3 classes. Each group of catechists will take a class and build that relationship with the students. And parents can sit in by the side and journey along with the children as well. So we're going to start it this coming Sunday. We have tried the other way, which is not synchronous, but I'm not seeing the kind of response I want. So we go on this mode and we bring everybody together and see how it goes.
Okay, that's great to hear. In my experience with SFX, first also I thought, with the small children, that's not going to work, how they're going to look. But actually my 5-year-old is quite excited about sitting in the front of the screen, and he figured out that, okay, if I press the space bar, I can also talk to the catechist, and he has lots of questions. So some kind of interaction actually is, I think, quite exciting for the students among themselves and with the catechist. So we hope, pray that it's going to work out and it's going to help them. And hopefully, by God's grace, this pandemic is soon over and we can really meet again. Because the pandemic creates opportunities for us when we stay at home together, new ways of learning. And at the same time, also, they reveal to us that what we miss out when we can't really meet with each other, because as human beings, we have to interact with each other, and that's also important. Yeah. So Simon, I want to thank you for the conversation and for this time.
Thank you, Mike. It's been nice.
Okay. So thank you for joining us for this conversation. I hope you've been inspired as parents to step up and to find new ways to catechize. We are all just learning, and it's not about how much we know. It's really about being in a journey of faith together to live a witness of life and to find natural opportunities and also fixed moments in the week where we can just sit down with our children and read the scriptures together and to create opportunities to talk about faith. When you have very small children, this can be done very naturally. They have loads and loads of questions. And for our teenagers, the more we as parents become vulnerable to them and open up about our lives and build that friendship with them, they too will come to you as parents with their burning questions, their difficulties, and that often creates good opportunities to catechize, because catechize isn't just about teaching doctrines of faith, but catechesis is about every aspect of our Christian life, the ethics of work, the ethics of studying, and bringing Christ at the heart of all our lived experiences and relationships. So don't be afraid to be a witness of your faith. Here is a short message of Yvonne, the Catechetical Coordinator, about catechesis at home.
Peace be with you, parents. As we are now on circuit breaker, we miss coming to church for catechism, we miss going for Mass. But this is a good time to put Jesus in the center of our homes by sharing our faith with our children. And through our online sessions and summarized catechism plans that we send to you, please make the effort to journey with your children and impart that Catholic faith. Why not now in the month of May, where we lift up Mother Mary, as this is her month? Teach your children to say or recite the rosary, because most of the kids don't know how to use a rosary. So this is the best time, parents, to help your children to learn about the rosary, learn about our Catholic faith in your home. And you are the best teachers. A family that prays together stays together.
So do leave a comment below to share how you have been doing catechesis home, the struggles you face, and also the opportunities you have created. So if you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to our IHM channel. And we hope to see you at the next Heart Conversations.